Early Intervention Strategies for Parents with Autistic Children. An article by Enabling Autism. Introduction. Parents who have just received the diagnosis that their child has or may have autism spectrum disorder, ASD, are certainly inquiring and worried about what occurs next. A confirmation of autism spectrum disorder can be devastating for families. It is no one expects to discover that their child is not typically developing or is experiencing any difficulties. When there are different opinions on how to handle a child, it can leave parents feeling confused and helpless. Another possibility is that parents have been told that ASD is a lifelong, incurable illness, leading them to believe that there is nothing they can do to help their child. Interventions for ASD can help children acquire new abilities and solve several challenges they may have as they grow up. However, ASD is not a condition a person grows out of. Free public services, in-home behavioral treatment, and school-based programs are just a few examples of support available to help each child meet his or her unique needs and thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. The best thing parents can do for their children with ASD or related developmental impairments is to begin therapy as soon as possible. Seek assistance as soon as they become aware of a problem. Parents should not wait to see whether the child will catch up later or if the problem will disappear. It is not necessary to wait for a formal diagnosis. Children with ASD are more likely to respond to treatment if they receive it early on. Symptoms of autism can be mitigated over time, and development can be accelerated by early intervention. Parents must educate themselves on autism and participate actively in their child's treatment if they hope to see positive results. The following suggestions will also assist in making a daily living at home more manageable for both parents and their autistic child. Maintain consistency. Autistic children often struggle to generalize skills learnt in one context, for example, the therapist's office or school, to another, such as the home. The child may, for instance, use sign language as a means of communication at school, but would never consider doing so at home. One of the most effective ways to help a child learn is to make sure their surroundings are consistent. Parents should learn the strategies used by the child's practitioners so that they can replicate them at home. The child may benefit from having counseling sessions at different locations. This will provide the child with practice in applying skills learnt in one setting to another. It is also crucial for parents to have a uniform approach to dealing with difficult behaviors and interacting with their children. Follow a timetable. When autistic children have a strict routine, they are better able to function in their environment. Again, this relates to the constancy they both require and desire. The child needs a routine that includes defined times for eating, treatment, school, and sleep, all of which the parents should establish. A parent's job is to minimize disruptions from this schedule. Parents should prepare the child in advance for any unavoidable scheduling adjustments. Positive reinforcement. When raising a child with autism spectrum disorder, parents must look for opportunities to provide positive reinforcement. Parents should compliment their children when they behave well or master new abilities. A sticker or the opportunity to play with a special toy are just two examples of how parents may show their children they appreciate good behavior. Establish safe space. Parents should create a haven for the child in the house to relax and feel at ease. This will entail structuring and establishing boundaries in ways the child can understand. Colored tape to differentiate off-limits zones or graphic labels on household products are two examples of visual cues that might be beneficial. Parents may also need safety proof in the home, especially if the child is susceptible to tantrums or other self-harming behaviors. Engage in nonverbal communication. Communicating and bonding with a child who has autism does not require words or physical contact. Parents interact with their children through the way they look at them, their voice, and their body language. Even if the child never speaks, he or she is still communicating with the parents. The only requirement for parents is language acquisition. Parents can learn to read the nonverbal cues their autistic children use to communicate if they are alert and watchful. When a child is sleepy, hungry, or wants anything, he or she will make sounds, make expressions on their faces, and make movements that parents should interpret. Children with ASD, like any children, experience distress when they are not understood or given attention. Many times, parents' inability to read the nonverbal clues their autistic children present them with leads to behavioral problems. Their tantrums are their way of expressing their frustration and gaining attention. Make time for enjoyment. The ASD coping child is still when trying to figure out how to bond with their children, parents should consider what activities are certain to generate a grin, a chuckle, and an outburst of personality from their child. If the child does not perceive these activities as therapeutic or instructive, they are more likely to enjoy them. The pleasure of a child's company by parents and the child's appreciation of spending unpressured time with parents have enormous benefits. All children need to play, and it should not feel like work, because play is a crucial element of learning. Observe the children's sensory needs. Children with ASD often have heightened sensitivity to their surroundings. Children with autism may experience undersensitivity to sensory input. Parents need to identify the environmental cues, such as sights, sounds, scents, movements, and tactile sensations, that cause their child's bad or disruptive behavior, and those that elicit the desired reaction. What causes the child anxiety, in their opinion? Calming, uncomfortable, enjoyable. Parents may do a better job of problem solving, avoiding challenging circumstances, and creating positive ones, if they have a firm grasp on the factors that impact their child. Make a customized treatment strategy for autism. Choosing the best treatment option for a child can be challenging due to the wide variety of options. A parent's life might be further complicated because they may receive contradicting advice from their parents, teachers, and doctors. Parents must remember there is no magic bullet while designing their child's treatment plan. Each individual on the autism spectrum has their own set of advantages and disadvantages. The child's care must be individualized to meet their specific requirements. It is the responsibility of parents to ensure that their child's needs are being addressed, because they are the ones who know their child best. Parents can help their children by asking themselves the following questions. What are my child's strong and weak points? What are the most problematic behaviors? What are the most crucial areas in which my child is lacking? What learning method does my child prefer? Seeing, listening, or doing? How can I incorporate my child's favorite activities into his or her therapy and education? Finally, remember that parental engagement is crucial to the success of any treatment strategy. Parents can maximize their child's treatment outcomes by collaborating with the care team and continuing therapy at home. This is why parental well-being is crucial. The child's concentration can be actively engaged in properly organized activities that build on his or her interests, provide predictability, instruct tasks in a series of basic steps, promote regular behavior reinforcement, and involve the parents. Concluding thoughts. A lot of time and effort may be required to care for a child who has autism. Sometimes parents may feel helpless, worried, or discouraged. Raising a child is generally difficult, but raising a child with special needs is considerably more so. To be the best parent possible, one must prioritize one's health. Parents might find comfort in knowing they are not alone by joining an ASD support group. Parents can share information and seek guidance and emotional support from one another. Many parents feel alone after hearing their child's diagnosis, but simply being with others who can relate and talk about their own experiences can help. Eventually, a break is needed for the parents. This is especially true for families where autism spectrum disorder is a contributing factor. Another caretaker temporarily takes over childcare, giving parents a break for a short while.